Hello people from Gunner Station, John here. Well, I was thinking of making some videos. I was thinking of maybe making a video on the table, whether I think we're gonna make to top 4, whether I think we're gonna make to top 5. City gets the man, and then the team that finishes in 5th on the table, which is Manchester United today. Right now at this moment, they're going to the Europa League. They're going to Champions League, and the team that ends on 7th, if the team that wins the FA Cup, we are also playing an FA Cup, by the way. We're playing the quarterfinals against Sheffield United. It's going to be a tough game, but I think we're going to make through. If the team that on the top 7th goes and wins the FA Cup, a team that is on the top 7, which means maybe Liverpool or Man City, if any of them win, the team that is 7th on the table, so if we finish 7th, we're going to the Europa League next season. So people, I think that we can make at least to that. I think if we finish below 7, it's gonna be it's gonna get nasty, people, in my opinion. I think that I still have hopes that we're gonna make to the top 5, in my opinion, because we have a game in hand and we are 5 points away from Manchester United. I actually think that we can finish above Chelsea. I actually think Chelsea has 48 points. We have 40 points. If I'm not wrong, people, forgive me if I'm wrong. So yes, of course we have a hard table. We have hard teams to play against. We have Liverpool home. We have Leicester home. We have Wolves away. We have who else? City away, of course. We have Tottenham away. Well, I think Tottenham, we can beat them away. I think Wolves, it's going to be harder than Tottenham, in my opinion. I think Liverpool home is going to be a tough one as well. City away, I think we can actually maybe beat them there because of the fitness level. A lot of City players show that they're not fit compared to our players, for example. Our players are, most of them are looking fit enough to go and have a first game. While City, I don't know if you guys saw a picture of Kevin De Bruyne and players like that. I think they're gonna feel the level, people. And well, I have hopes for that game. Honestly, I think if we play, well, I'm gonna make the formation for that. My formation for the game against City. I'm not gonna make it right now, but yeah, I was also thinking of making a video about the center backs that we have and who I would like us to sell for next season. Well, guys, we have many center backs, as many of you guys know. I was also thinking of making a video about Rugani, but I think I'm gonna make that video. Rugani and center backs we have at the club. So let's start with that, people. How many center backs do we actually have at the club we're gonna have for next season? Well, if you don't count the players that are leaving, probably because Socrates, Mustafi, players like that are probably leaving. But let's say when the transfer window opens, we're gonna have the following players. We're gonna have Mustafi, we're gonna have Socrates, we're gonna have Mavropanos, we're gonna have Holding, we're gonna have Chambers, we're gonna have Mari, because I actually think we're gonna buy Mari. We're gonna have, Jesus Christ, I forgot. We're gonna have David Luiz. Did I say Mustafi already? We're gonna have Medley. We're gonna have Daniel Ballard, who was on loan this season to Swindon Town. He had a pretty bad injury. He was actually doing pretty decent for them until he got injured, playing in the 4th division. He already plays in the national team of North Ireland, which is of course not a great deal. It's North Ireland, but people, yeah, he's a young guy. Mavropanos is actually doing pretty well at Nuremberg as well. I think that Mavropanos should go on loan next season to a team on the top division in Bundesliga. I think that would be ideal for him. I think that he needs still time to improve. I know that he played a few games for Arsenal. I think he played around 6-7 games for Arsenal in total. And like, some people saying that he's pretty bad, he's not good enough for Arsenal, but I don't get it. Like, based on, I'm not gonna come here and say that the player is really good and he's gonna make it, because based on what he's gonna make it. But if you judge the player, if you say he's not good enough for Arsenal, you're gonna say, I'm gonna ask you the same thing, based on what? Because the games he played, some of them, of course, he was not good, but it's pretty hard for a guy who's 20 years old. I'm saying he's 22 actually right now, if I'm not wrong. I think Mavropanos is from 97. But when he played the games, he was 21, yeah. But he came after months injured, and he played usually with Socrates or Mustafi close to him, and those guys showed no leadership on this team. I think if he played with a guy like David Luiz, he would feel much more comfortable. It would give him way more freedom. and that will help him a lot. But when you put a young player like that, people, he's not gonna show an instant impact when you play him close to players like Socrates, players like Mustafi. Honestly, people, it's not gonna work like that. And people want to see an instant impact, and if it does not happen, people are gonna cuss him. That's how most of the Arsenal fans are. For example, Reece Nelson this season. Last season, a lot of people putting hype on Reece Nelson. But then when he comes this season, also people saying putting a lot of weight on his back. When he was 19 at the beginning of the season, people saying like, "Oh, this guy gotta be a starter. He gotta be a starter. Gotta be a starter." When he starts not to deliver, you're gonna put all the weight on the guy's back. When he starts not to deliver, people are gonna cuss him, and that's not really what you should do. So I see a lot of people also talking about Saka and Martinelli that we should have them for left wing because we need young guys for long term. I agree with that, but if you say we only need them to play left wing, then you're putting all the weight in the whole season on guys who can play on the left wing, but they are 18 years old. It's the same thing you did to Nelson last season. And you might say, oh, but Nelson's not even close as talented as Saka and Martinelli. But last season, I saw so many people compare Nelson, for example, to Jadon Sancho. But now people forget because this season he's not doing as good as he was for Hoffenheim. So that's something I think it's a point to be made. I think that we need a more experienced left winger as well. I think it would help Saka and Martinelli, in my opinion. Yeah. So that's why I wouldn't reject Willian. I wouldn't reject Kluivert. Of course, Kluivert is not as experienced as Willian. I would take Ryan Fraser, whoever it is, people. So yeah. So I was talking about the center backs. We're gonna have so many center backs next season. Those that I said. Well, I'd sell Mustafi, I'd sell Socrates, I'd sell between Chambers and Holding if we can sell them because they are injured at the moment. Holding isn't, but Chambers is. So I don't know if any team is gonna make an offer for Callum Chambers. For Holding, I think so. Maybe if we receive an offer for Holding, I think if it was from around 10 to 17 million, I don't know, maybe I take it. I would not sign Mari. Well, people, I watched Mari on the Brazilian league. As I think I've said this before, he was a very decent center back for Flamengo. Of course, Flamengo is by miles the best team in Brazil. But when it comes to this league, the high tempo is a much higher tempo compared to the Brazilian league. I think Mari is going to struggle a lot. Player Mari reminds me of is Lewis Dunk. If you compare him to a player here in the Premier League, a slow guy, but he's really, really good in the air. Lewis Dunk is actually strong. Mari isn't as much. Technically gifted players. Mari is very, very technically gifted. Of course, players from Spain are usually all technically gifted. But there's also the center backs we are linked to. We are linked with Bruno Fuchs from Internacional, which is a really prospect, a really big prospect. I really rate him. I take him in a heartbeat, yeah. Disasi, we're linked with Disasi, we're linked with Umtiti, we're linked with Upamecano, we're linked with all the players I forget, guys. You know them, you name them. But it's Saliba is also coming. I didn't even talk about Saliba. So we have so many center backs that we have to get rid of. I think Mavropanos should go on loan. Metley, if we receive an offer for him, I would sell. I don't think Metley is that good. Ballard, I'd loan him because I think he has a future at the club. At least like a bench player in the future. Rob Holding, I'd sell if we received an offer. Mustafi, sell. Socrates, sell. Luis, I'd keep David Luiz. And people, there's so many center backs on this club, I can't even remember when I talk about that. So yeah, I don't know who we're gonna sign. I hope we're also linked with Gabriel Magalhães. We're linked with sometimes with Nathan Ake. I don't know who we're gonna take, people. I'd be happy with any of them. Disasi, I think he's a bargain. I would not sign Mari, as I said. I'd sign Disasi instead, because Disasi would cost around the same, and he's younger than Mari. He's played here in Europe. Of course, Mari had as well, but he played in the second division in Spain. He also played in the Netherlands. He did decent on those places, but they're not even close to the Premier League. Yes, people, let me see what you guys think in the comments below. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, like the content. I always reply to the comments, so if you guys want to comment something, always gonna reply. So thank you guys, thank you for watching Gunner Station. Thank you.